Riverbend Talent on the Big Z, brought to you by the Halpin Music Company and by Mr. Matt Van Boers of Macias Insurance. And I kept telling you, Pigpen, you need to go see the Fry Project.
I've been working on the Fry Project since '82, man.
I know, you've been frying a long time.
Yeah, man, like I've been working hard, man. Oh, you mean the band, the Fry Project?
Right.
I thought we were talking MK Ultra. I didn't know what we were talking there.
No, it might be.
Yeah, so this we have a band with us, first time band.
We love that.
Gonna pop the cherry. So this is our first time in, and you have brought this band up to me when you first saw them and said, there's a band called the Fry Project. You're probably gonna like those guys. And I'm like, yeah, I like French fries. And
well, the word psychedelics in their description of music.
And
so,
that is my middle name.
I know.
You know, so absolutely. Psychedelic music tickles my fancy. It hits me in my creamy center. But today we have with us newcomers to the show. Bob Bowman, the bass player from the Fry Project, sitting directly across from me. Good-looking gentleman, handsome gentleman.
Thank you, sir.
I heard he's a selfish lover. We'll find out later. And then just to my left, we have Roy Fry, guitar player.
Right.
And namesake, apparently.
Right.
That's not your real name.
It is.
Dude, you ate so many psychedelics.
It could be
like, my name is Roy Fry.
He's the boss.
Yeah.
6
Bruce
letters in
Springsteen
my
is the
whole
boss,
darn
dude.
name.
You're trying to rewrite history. He's acting like Bruce Springsteen don't exist, man.
So the Fry Project, how'd this all get started?
So, 2018 had a guy named Kevin Brown, and he's a friend, and he did kind of southern rock, singing and playing, the lead guitar, and I did more of the bluesy, psychedelic rock stuff, singing, playing guitar, and we started hanging out at a jam session, and kind of realized one day that we had about 10 songs each or so that we sang and played, and I thought, about 30 would probably be enough to cover a 4-hour gig with 30 minutes, about 3 hours of music, So I said, let's try to start a band, Put an ad out, got our drummer, got our bass player, Bobby Layton and Dan Beaver, who I'm still friends with, who still plays with us sometimes. But Bob wants to go deer hunting, like this weekend, for example.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Tis the season.
Tis, right. Well, we were doing a lot of Saturdays, and everybody had full-time jobs. I still had a full-time job working, and a lot of those guys did too. And they didn't want to do Fridays as much anymore. It was a little bit harder, getting off work, rushing home, rushing back out for a gig. They were kind of... Well, I had a friend I've been friends with for a long time named Mark Drummer. And he had started coming around to the jams doing some songs with us for fun at the end of the night, Little Wing and, breakdown songs where you could have fun and experiment, a lot of Hendrixy stuff, And he volunteered to play some drums on some of the Fridays if I wanted to do any Friday gigs, and he had filled in a couple times too. So I designed a trio instead of a 4-piece for Fridays. And that's where Fry Project came from, because originally I was going to have a 4th, a harmonica player, maybe a keyboard sometimes, maybe a second guitar player sometimes, But I wanted to keep the core trio so that I could have control of that.
Right.
Not always have a 4th person, not a band member, a guest, you know what I mean? It kind of stayed like that. The things went a certain way, and the other guys went a different direction. I just kept it Fry Project and just kept booking as much as I could. So, and still do.
Kept frying, man.
Kept frying at it,
Just
right?
like bacon.
Keep booking.
Yes.
I worked in business sales my whole life, so booking isn't too hard for me to do, really.
You worked in business sales.
Yes, advertising.
Selling weed don't count as
I knew that was coming.
That's not really sales, dude.
Is it the green and black on my shirt making me
I'm
sell
a florist.
jokes?
Man, I'm a florist.
Coming in here in the green and the black, and he's got all his weed jokes.
Hey, man, I smell what I smell.
Psychedelic
Maybe that's
green.
me, though. Oh, wow, I'm sorry, that was me. That was
Psychedelic
totally me.
green. Is what
Yeah, so there you go. In the Fry Project, what did you do before? Did you play in any bands before the Fry Project?
No, I started playing guitar when I was 40. Actually, I'm 48.
Oh, wow.
And I worked in I worked for AT&T actually, selling ads like Google AdWords, remaining phone book ads, build websites, and do all that kind of stuff. So I was the only long-haired guy in the office that didn't watch sports. You know what I'm saying? And hang out and want to go to happy hour after work. Want to go home and practice my guitar and go watch bands on the weekend.
Right.
So you didn't start playing till you're 40, huh?
No.
What made you want to start playing guitar?
I got sober from alcohol after a really messed up ordeal, like really messed up. I was having seizures without it. I was real bad addicted to alcohol. So my 40th birthday, I was sitting there looking at a profile picture of me, and I was holding a BC Rich Warlock. I know you know what that is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
POS, right? Junk, right? But they look cool, right?
Right,
So
they
I
do look
had
cool.
one.
They are.
But I was looking at the picture, and I thought, why do I have a picture of me holding a guitar? I don't know how to play a guitar.
Looks
And I
good,
thought,
though, huh?
why do I have a picture of me playing guitar? I thought, well, it's because I always wanted to.
There you go.
But I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just self-doubt. Going and watching real pros, like up in the city. You know, people that are playing a lot of the blues and the jazzy shit. I mean, they know theory. There's a certain level you have to obtain to play certain things, you know? And I'd watch them, and to me it was like, yeah, I'd never figure that out.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't look like one pentatonic scale. All of a sudden, there was just all these things. I couldn't figure out what they were doing. It looked too big. But, man, I just started going to this little jam session at this place, and everybody there was pretty amateur. But that made me comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was okay.
Right.
I finally decided to get up. I could play the D, a C, and a G chord. Right? I could play the cowboy chords.
Right.
Right? So then I look at what songs they play, and then I would go back the next week. And back then, though, I was 350 pounds. I needed my hips replaced. I had a disease where I needed my hips replaced from binge drinking called vascular necrosis. So I had to sit in a chair at the jam session and couldn't get up and down the stage by myself. And I just kept going, man. And then once I got my hips replaced, I could stand and play. You know, and they're like, sing a song. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not trying to sing no song. What are you talking about? Like, come on, man. I'm like, oh, dude, no, I'm not going to. You know, I started trying to sing songs, and we just kept going, man. It's like, still trying to learn, still trying to advance, you know.
What a great story, though. You know, you can start this anytime you want.
Yeah.
The music. I mean, you don't have
If
to
you
do
sell
that.
yourself at, if you're somebody that wants to only pick up a guitar on the weekend, I mean, it's all about your drive and your passion.
Right.
It's going to take you it's going to take you as far as you want. I mean,
That's one of the beautiful things about music, though. You can put very little into it and have a good time. There's a lot of songs that are 2-3 chords.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so you can not learn to read music and just learn a few songs and have a wonderful time.
sure.
Or you can
And you
dedicate.
don't have to be college educated.
Or you can dedicate your life to it and have a great time. You're still not going to know everything either way,
Never.
you know.
It's infinite.
But it is one of these great things that it can be fun whether you know a little or a lot. It's just
Right.
kind of how what you
I
make
teach
of it.
guitar, so yeah, I'll do 2-chord jams with the students all day long. It's a 1 and a 4, you know. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
But you can create things, and it's artistic, and it's good to know what are the correct notes.
That's
You know,
one thing
and that's
about
where the theory part comes in. You know, I
Right.
mean,
at the jam sessions, we do have his students show up, and we will jam with them, you know,
Nice.
and make it more comfortable for
yeah, I
them.
teach
so
my
that they can
dentist. He's
get
become
out.
one of my really good friends.
It's always good to be friendly with your dentist.
He's cool.
But no, that and like you say, teaching, having students, teaching them.
I'll be in the middle of teaching, and I teach myself something.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm an epiphany. I'm like, "Oop."
Yeah.
And like later on, I'm like, wow.
My wife takes bass lessons every week. She's been doing it for a while, and to her, it's as big of a thrill to take a song because she takes like Grateful Dead and the band and some pretty amazing bass players to a guy who's kind of steeped in '90s rock, you know, where it's small circles that you're dealing in, and he's a great player. But I think that's kind of his wheelhouse, and she's like, it's so much fun. I don't even care if he teaches it to me. Watching him listen to these bass lines and go, oh my gosh.
Right.
And him have to sit and learn how to do it is a thrill to her.
It's amusement,
worth
right?
her $20 to watch this guy, you know.
Right.
But I've had friends because I originally taught my wife how to play, you know, root notes on a bass, and I've taught some people just simple things because I'm not good, so I can only teach them what
Well,
I
you
know,
know.
which is this much. But I've had friends say, well, isn't that frustrating to spend 2 hours playing the same 2 chords over and over? And it's like, no, it's fun. It's creating a musician out of a non-musician, and music is a language.
Yeah, man.
Are we going to not talk to babies until they learn how to talk? No, you look at a baby and goo goo gaga, you know what I mean? You don't say, well,
Man,
when you learn how to talk, I'll discuss
I
this
use
with you.
Fire in the
Right.
Mountain by Grateful Dead.
B.A.
B.A. It's a 2-chord song all day long.
All day long. Not
Yep.
even a real turnaround much, but yeah, there's a turnaround. But yeah, it's some great songs are 2-3 chord songs, and Anybody, so using your story to inspire here, anybody who's out there who's thought, man, I always wanted to play guitar, but I'm old now and I don't, it's too late. No, it's never too late. And,
Call it Halpin music, take some lessons.
Yes.
I didn't do the lessons, man. I kept going out and watching guys like Tony Campanella and Steve Piccaro and John McVeigh, and I mean, they're all over in the city. There's great.
And we talk about it all the time. When we were kids, we didn't have YouTube. Now you can actually sit down to YouTube, watch the guy who played the song originally teach you how to play the song.
Well,
I mean,
we used to wait all month just for Guitar Magazine, and you're like,
so you can steal
what song's going to be there?
Right.
Go to that
Batman.
the intro riff of the Anthrax song is like try to memorize how to play it. Then you don't want to buy the magazine, so you just,
but then it doesn't matter what they fed you when it's like, oh, it's the intro to Batman. Wow, that's cool. You didn't care what it was. It was just new knowledge for $1.99 or whatever.
Magazines are cool.
and then you learn a song out of the magazine, and you'd see the original done in front of you and go, that's not how I'm playing it. What's going on here? Why is that different than the tablature?
Ultimate tabs out. You got 8 versions of how to play the same song.
Yeah.
And just so you said, you made the comment magazines were cool. Magazines are still cool. Like, I get some good ones, man.
Still have my magazines.
Drunk Chicks Over 80.
Those have tablature?
Oh, they got something.
So let's
Work
talk.
on my fingering.
Let's talk to the bass player, Bob Bowman. How about you? What got you into music?
I've been an entertainer ever since I was a little kid. I used to steal my brother's trumpet and go to show and tell,
Nice.
and lip sync and put on little shows for the kids. And I got the lead in the plays and all that stuff. And I was started singing at a young age, so playing bass, I was able to do it by voice, and I could hear it. And then it just started playing after that. Sit down with the turntable and burn up needle after needle after needle.
Yeah.
Going back and forth, cassettes and stuff. But yeah, I've been playing and doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So you
mainly bass then the whole time?
Yeah, I dedicated myself to the bass. I really wasn't interested in the guitar. Drums were too much to carry around. And so, yeah, bass is where I wanted to be because, like I said, vocally I was able to sing it and hear it and then be able to produce it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's on.
So you say, you kind of play into what you're singing. You sing it and you can lock in.
Right.
So I do this sometimes, but then I'm like, oh, I think I got this song down. But then I listen to the actual song and I'm like, I'm not even in the right key. I'm singing this.
Or there's just that one part, you just can't figure out what they're doing.
Right.
And especially like take someone like the band. I don't know if you're a fan of the band.
I know, I have the
Right.
CDs at home.
You got 6 guys that are putting a lot of music out, and it's not necessarily put out in a very rigid way where you can hear
Individual.
the 1, 3, 4 change because they're sprinkling in little bits of it takes a minute. We're like, well, what's going on here?
Right.
G minor 7 to E flat. But that it is a big fun part of it is doing what you're saying, where you just sit and figure out songs that you've heard your whole life that you're like, man, I know that tune, I'm going to play it today.
Right, and just keep going. And then I played country gospel, as a teen, and then in high school was in jazz lab and all that stuff, and then started playing in small bands and just kept playing and going and playing and going and playing and going.
Yeah. What kind of bands? Any bands we might remember you from?
No.
No.
And the only one that you might, and I doubt you remember it, but you'd remember the player. I played in the mid-'90s. I played with Mike Saffron.
Okay.
In Pavlov's Dog 2000. That was a band that he was creating at that point in time. But that was about
Judy!
it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first band I ever played in where the drummer set up in front like the lead singer.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So how'd you get in the Pride project?
Good. He was talking about how he kept it as a project because he wanted to either have like a keyboard player or maybe a harmonica player. Well, we have a harmonica player that we know we have in common.
Mark LeClaire, yeah.
Yeah, we call him Mark the Harp. And
He's seen my ad.
and as soon as he seen his ad, he said, "Hey, listen, man, I got your guy. Take your ad down." He's like, "Well, he goes, no, man, no, Roy, I got your guy." So then we met, and we've been together ever since. I've been with Roy for about 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years this coming March, right?
All
I
right.
don't even remember.
Something
I
like
remember
that,
that. I don't remember, but I know it's been over 2 years for sure.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 years. Getting ready
Well, the
for
first
3 years.
base player who's playing one with us this weekend, he's still a good friend and plays with us here and there. He was getting older and stuff, and he just needed a little bit of a break, and so I kind of had 64 gigs on the books, and I needed a bass player. So I got on Facebook, man. It's the fastest way to get it out there. It's like, I need a bass player. Let me know. This is what we do. Message me, blah, blah. And man, it exploded. And so I'm watching the page explode, and I'm like, my phone rings, and it's the harmonica guy. He's like, Roy, what happened? What happened? I was like, well, Beaver needed a break, man. He's like, take the ad down. I got the bass player. I got the bass player. Just take the ad down. And I'm like, well, man, I'm going to try out a couple different people. He's like, Roy, I'm serious. This guy will play all the gigs that you need. I mean, I gave him your number already. I gave him your number already. Was that okay? Well, I guess so. But yeah, I think he's only missed, 3 gigs, and it was because you had like some pretty severe, flipped the lawnmower over on
Flipped the
himself.
lawnmower over myself, had to miss that 1 gig.
So pretty serious reasons why he's missed gigs, but it's only been like 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm with him full time.
I've never missed a gig. I went migraines and everything. I will not miss a gig.
Yeah.
I went
Surgery.
I will not miss a gig. I had a hernia surgery,
And then
and
that
12 hours
Friday.
later, still did the gigs.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Nice.
just couldn't cough.
Yeah. No coughing.
If I cough, it's gonna blow back
Well,
out.
the first gig, the first night was a jam session, not a band thing, so I didn't have to sing.
Yeah, just
'Cause I
play.
couldn't have sung with the hernia surgery. There's no way.
Right.
And then, but the next night I had to sing, and made it through. But man, riding down 44 going home was on Washington, just the road and the bumps and
Yeah.
everything, shaking this. It was like, oh man, I thought I might have messed something up. But
Right.
no, I've never canceled a gig ever for any reason.
So, Roy, you're from Jefferson County?
Fenton,
Fenton.
yeah.
And where are you from, Bob?
I live in Union, Missouri.
Okay.
I'm a Franklin County boy.
Oh, you got a good drive then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's worth it.
And you guys play all over Missouri and Illinois, right?
Yep.
I'd go further if they pay more and I could book like a whole weekend in Memphis or something like that. And I may try that eventually, but
Right.
I would be worried one of the gigs would cancel and then driving all the way down there for one wouldn't make sense. Wouldn't make
Right.
any money because of travel. So,
Right.
but I would do it.
But yeah.
Somebody put me on a tour.
We would definitely
I'd do
go. We would definitely go.
Absolutely. Somebody put me on a tour and said, "You're going to drive all the way around, but you're going to get paid every night and open up." Absolutely.
We would be
Without
gone.
hesitation, I'd be gone already.
But you guys stay busy enough. Now, here's a guy who had a job, quit his job, and now is making money.
I didn't get what happened with my job
Okay.
was COVID came.
Okay.
And I worked in Maryland Heights in an office next
Right.
to Dave and Buster's. And a company called Dex Media, who owns Yellow Book in Illinois, bought us, and we owned Yellow Pages. We were AT&T Advertising
Okay.
Solutions. And so they just basically just squished us
I
all the
got you.
time. I went from making 6 figures down to like 50, and motivation just went out the door. And
Sure.
the COVID came, and they cut our office from 300 to 150 to 75, and then the money wasn't there, and that was it. So I thought, you know what? I never in 21 years didn't have a 40-hour week job where I had to that roller coaster ride. Once you're on, you're on. Once you get hired, you're on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And now
I
you're
thought-
gigging all the time, though.
Yeah, and I thought, man, I'm going to put 4 or 5 hours a day into practicing.
There you go.
Well, there was that thing you weren't supposed to go anywhere unless you had a doctor, you know. I just lost my job, man, just lost it. And so I just practiced crazy. I just went
That's awesome.
crazy with it, man. And
That's really
Jefferson
cool.
County kept the gigs open. They didn't shut down. So we still kept playing.
Okay.
I got 33 cancellations throughout all that. But booked like 120, 150 a year, so.
Yeah. That's exciting, though. You know,
I got like
midlife.
97 on the books right now.
You always admired musicians and just said, okay, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's how easy you can do it, folks. I
And I'll
mean,
tell you what, every Sunday now, I used to get depressed, man, because I had to go do this 5-day-a-week thing that was stressful. I had to go from Fenton to Maryland Heights, You already know that drive.
Yeah.
Just the drive. Just that
I'm mad
drive.
before I even get to work.
Yeah, the worst part
You know
of the
what I
day is
mean?
the drive in and the drive out.
And it's commission, so it can fluctuate in us. Sell this many, you make this much. Okay, now this month you gotta sell more to make less, you know, and it's a roller coaster. And after doing it so long, to actually be driving around at like 11 o'clock on a Sunday night or 2 a.m. on a Monday morning and not be stressed out, not be worried about nothing.
Right.
Is a whole new way of life.
Yeah.
I've never been felt freer than I am now. And I make way less money than I ever have in my life, but I feel way better. I don't have to go that slave in the grind anymore.
I agree the same
hated
thing.
it, man. I hated it.
When you have to check in with a stranger every morning and say
hated
hi.
it. And I was
stranger,
successful. I was
what
a
shall I
good
do
performer,
today?
but
Right.
I made a lot of money, but it's still that amount of money didn't matter.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about drinking, you know, being part of that
Job,
everyday grind.
on sales jobs, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people will say, you know, if you're a musician, you're going to become a drinker. You're showing that it's actually saved you, you know, from...
Neither one of us drink.
Right.
Well, you got a mission. So, like, when you get up every day, like, here's how I explain it. Saturday comes, and you got to cut the grass. Now, back in the day, I'm like, Saturday, I got to cut the grass. Hey, make me up some drinks, cut a little grass, go back in the house, smoke me up a little bit, make a couple more drinks. I'm going to have a party cutting this grass.
Right.
Now, it's like, I got to cut the grass. It's different. But that mission's gone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just a different mission.
Yeah, that's cool, though, that
I've even been told, like, you're addicted. All you do is swap one addiction for the other. And I'm like, it's okay. This one isn't destroying
It's a
my
very
liver.
healthy,
It
addiction,
didn't destroy my
yeah.
hips and you know, my stomach and everything else.
That's
This
amazing
addiction isn't
story.
doing that.
Yeah, because you usually hear the opposite, right? You know, that, you know...
They start off sober and end up wasted.
Right,
They
yeah.
start off wasted and ended up sober.
Yeah,
Sometimes
with
the
music.
Right,
That's amazing.
exactly.
And sometimes the other side of the story just needs to be told. You've heard the story 100 times. Oh, I used to have it all, a job, a family, you know, a wife, and I started doing drugs and lost it. But
Totally
I'm here to tell you, I'm
right.
the other way. I had nothing. I started doing drugs, woke up one day, I had a house, my wife, kids. I don't know how it happened.
Right. But no, you hear the stories a lot of times, though, like that. You're right, man. You do it all the time.
You know, all along I wanted to play music instead of work, but you know, finally carpentry decided it was too much for me, and I was like, man, I got to get out of this. And so got this opportunity with Roy, and I'm telling you, I live a way better life now.
You definitely don't make a lot of money, but the experience is a drive to a venue that I booked. I've never been there. I don't know if we're playing indoors, outdoors, upstairs, downstairs. I don't have no idea, and I don't want to know.
Elevator, no
I want to
elevator,
get there and
flights of
discover it.
stairs.
That's fun.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
To me, like back in the day of doing lots of gigs, one of the fun parts is like, oh, we're going to a new venue. I wonder what the stage is going to
Right.
be like.
See, that's what I'm talking
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be free pizza or burritos involved.
Right.
Hey, I'm a foodie. If I get to try new food at a restaurant, I'm excited as can be.
I was
I'll
always
take a
just
picture. It goes on my post. Oh yeah.
I was always just happy if there was like free, like if the whatever bar you were playing, it's like got pizzas, because you'd be like, hey man, can we get one of those pizzas?
If they had a good night,
Right.
if they had a good night, I don't feel bad asking.
Right.
If we played to two people, then I'm just gonna
Yeah, oh yeah.
have a good night. Bye.
No,
So we recorded this interview in advance on the 16th of November, but it's going to air on the 21st of December, and so that puts you guys at Kenny's in Barnhart, Missouri on the 22nd, and then in Belleville on the 23rd at Benny's Pizza.
Awesome place.
So you
Love
played there
pizza.
before?
He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
pizza artist, I would say.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He
it's an artist.
well, he convinced me he was a pizza artist. We went in there last time and they had a crab rangoon pizza,
Oh wow.
and then I realized he's a madman behind that counter, man.
As a matter of fact, the people that was sitting in front of the stage bought us a crab rangoon
Yeah.
pizza so we could have some.
Yeah, I was like, man, I was like, I can't afford that. Like, hey, I got you guys a pizza. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Thanks
Wow.
to Table One.
Yeah, that's added benefit though.
And they love the music too, so that's what makes it even better.
We've been impressed with Belleville, what they did with that little music scene down there called Experience Live Music Row, where they've gotten an
Oh yeah, the
actual...
green and black advertisements.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
they got Neutral Vodka sponsoring it, and it's like a little festival
We
down
play
there.
Copperfire too. We play H's Tavern, Corner Chill this weekend, Route 13. It's kind of a newer one. We got
Right.
some Sundays there next year. Little place, nice, cool people. You know,
Nice.
Belleville's awesome. People don't even realize we're out where we are. Everybody's like, oh, these 5 bars in Jeffco is all we. It's like, man, venture out. There's so much cool stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
40-minute drive.
Yeah.
Put on a CD, take a person with you, start talking. Next thing you know, an hour's went by
there.
and you're there.
Yeah, you're
Staunton, that ain't far. It might seem like it
One
the
thing-
first time. Had you do it a couple times, that ain't nothing.
One thing that I like about it the most is there's people that call you up or text you and say, hey man, what are you playing this weekend? And we play so much that I
don't
don't
know.
look. I don't look till like the next day sometimes.
I look on Monday morning.
I'll wake up like Saturday morning and be like, all right, I'm going here that tonight, you know.
Right.
And it's like, get on Facebook and find out for yourself.
Where are you playing at? It's like, well, I got this page called the band page.
Yeah.
And it's got this thing with events on it.
And they look at you like, you don't know where you're playing at? No, no.
I don't even know where I
It's
am
like a
right
surprise.
now. I don't
It's
know
like a
where I am.
surprise every day.
Good night, Portland, wherever you are.
We had an interview with, I don't remember the guy's name. It's on our YouTube channel, but, or no, Bands Around Town is who it was,
Right.
Jimmy Ford. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, Jimmy's great.
He looks at us in the interview and he goes, where are you guys playing at next weekend? And we both just look at each other and just kind of start laughing because
We didn't know.
it's still this weekend. I don't know what's next
Yeah.
weekend yet, you know, because I just fill the calendar up.
That's one thing I do enjoy about Roy is a lot of bands I've played in, they were all too consumed about this, or some gig that was coming up or whatever, and he approaches it kind of like I've always wanted to approach it, gig at a time, not worrying about what's coming up tomorrow. We put our whole emphasis on this gig, and then we do the same thing the next day, but we
Yeah.
don't worry about it till then.
The only time I worry about if we got to start at noon time,
or if
then we're
there's
playing
rain
1 o'clock
coming.
in the morning the night before. We got to go home. We got a 5-hour window to sleep. Got to go home, 5-hour window. You got to shut down, get right back up, and start going to the next gig to load and start at noon.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like I get insomnia. I'll have 0 sleep up for the whole 5 hours. I'll twist and turn,
Sure.
and then I
So-
got to do the gig the next day like that.
So Fry Project on Facebook, the main place people can go to find out where you guys are playing.
FRYPROJECT. Yep, on Facebook.
Right, and I went there and checked it out,
Thank
and
you.
I'll let you guys know that you're playing
Did you
Memories.
put like on the page?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
I did.
Tell us where we're playing.
I'm gonna tell you where you're playing.
Tell me about it.
You're playing Memories on the 29th at Memories at JR's in St. Louis,
South County. Yep.
right? And then on the 30th, you're playing Red's Tavern and Imperial.
Yep.
And then on the 31st, New Year's Eve, you're playing Chapps in Litchfield.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
we
yeah.
made a lot of friends out there in that area.
Love that place.
Mount Olive and that whole area. We love going out there. And them people are awesome.
And then if Patrick's is still Patrick's on the 5th, you'll be there of January.
We'll be at that address, yes.
Right.
On
And
Amioki Road, right?
Right.
also coming up on this side of the river in January on the 12th, they're playing the Rustic up in Warden, and then one of our favorite places, Doits Village Inn,
Oh, yeah.
on the 20th.
Yeah, Doits is awesome.
I love playing Doits.
So you can check out the Fry Project near you soon. So that's
Yeah.
good. And if they're not near you soon later, they'll be near you soon. Because you guys,
Sundays and Fridays, and so we play every Friday and every Saturday, no matter what. So
yeah.
Thursdays,
instead of asking us,
Mondays,
are you
Tuesdays,
playing this
doesn't matter.
weekend? The answer is yes.
Yeah. And if you want to be
Which
like
day
the
of
Fry
both?
Project, go venture out to one of their gigs where you've never heard of that place. Let's go see what kind of food they got and check out the Fry Project.
That
So,
helps us out at those debuts, especially,
Especially our
yeah.
debuts.
Well, and so, like, you know, I get very confused when I'm in here and I forget what's happened over the course of the evening. I remember at one point when you sat down, because we talked a little bit before the interview started.
Right.
And I don't remember if this was before the interview or not, but I want to make sure we explain to the people that you're sort of a jam band, an improv type band, where you're not, if they see you one night and you play a song and they see you the next night and you play that same song, it's not necessarily going to sound
Right. There's
like it
some
did
improvisations
last
going on
night.
and some things, you know.
Yeah, and I can't remember if we actually talked about that during the
don't
interview,
think
but I
so. I think
definitely,
we're
because here's the thing that we found, and I've seen this with bands, and I've been part of it for years. You guys travel a little bit more, where you
2-hour radius to St. Louis.
You've got about a 2-hour radius there, and a lot of bands maybe have a tighter, hour radius. And if you play every Friday and Saturday in an hour radius, and your show is sort of the same all the time, it gets to where when the weekend comes around and people are going, hey, what do you want to do? Hey, we could go see the Fry Project. Yeah, we just saw them, we can see them anytime. And I just saw them a few weeks ago. Okay. But when it comes to jam bands and improv type situations,
You change it up a little bit, so it's a little different at least,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So you just saw it 3-4 weeks ago. It's gonna be different today.
And we got slow songs that have a lot of that in there, and I can't play all those because then there's not danceable beats going on. So like I wouldn't even play the same songs every weekend necessarily.
Right.
There's certain ones we play every weekend, but we'll throw some of the other ones in sometimes to try to mix it up too. And
Plus our shows change up because we have multiple drummers.
you're right.
Right.
That's another thing. The drummers sing. So Mark drummer sings, 5, 6, 7 certain songs that only he sings. Tim does some blues songs that only he sings.
Right.
So
So
that changes
depending
it up
on
a
the
little
drummer,
bit.
the set list changes somewhat depending.
And
on
this
that.
weekend I got a different bass player so he can extend his deer hunting
Like
trip,
your
right?
hunting Trip, yes.
And that's an old bass player. He does like 7 blues songs he sings and plays. So they'll see something totally different this weekend at Corner Chill in Belleville that they haven't
Nice.
seen before.
Nice. Now, as a jam style band, do you're talking about you approach each show as an individual? This is, you're thinking about this show, we'll think about tomorrow's show tomorrow. Do you go down with a sort of a set list,
No.
or do you just go in with some ideas of, we're going to start with this song, see where it goes?
Try to read the crowd. If they're dancing,
There you go.
then we might throw another dance song right behind it and try to keep them going.
Don't even let the music stop. Just
Right.
keep it going.
I try
man.
to go song to song.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got somebody that got to, do something in between the songs or something. So a lot of times I have songs where I can run them together into the next song. Because that's what a band does. That's what a show is, man.
Yeah.
A garage band or bar band, typically they're gonna stand around and talk to each other in between the songs of every song. And I always thought, you have to do that to a point. But I mean, to be able to push 3 in a row, like he'll do Can't You See is in the key of D. And so is like No Quarter by Led Zeppelin. I do that one. And Bad Company, we do it in D instead of E, more like Five Finger Death Punch. Not with the double bass, but still
Right.
in the heavier key. So I can let that D ring and to start the beginning of Can't You See, which is his song he sings, and just blend it into the next. I mean, I just think it looks more professional.
I
Well,
agree.
and like you say, if you've got people up having a good time, if you stop for 2 minutes, well, they're all going back to
Just like you take a break.
to their table. And if you
Take
just
a break, you're going to lose that.
And there's a lot of
Man.
times when we're out there playing that we start, there's 5 people they're all eating. Everybody in the place is eating. So we got to kind of start out mellow instead of
Right.
Yeah, I got to start with Little Wing or
ripping their
or
heads
Let It
off.
Rain. Some
songs
mellow
about
songs.
food, man.
Hey.
Cheeseburger in paradise. I don't know.
I agree 100% though. I do get frustrated when I go to see a band and they're not sure what they're playing next. You know what I mean? Whereas the way you guys do it, that's the way we did it. Song after song after song. We did 5 in a row.
Yeah, if I want to extend my guitar solo, everybody knows what I'm doing. If I'm up by the microphone, then I'm going to get ready to go to the next verse. But otherwise, I'm back solo. We all know each other's body language.
Right.
So if we're doing tush, and we got some people singing, and we are dancing, and we haven't had no dancers all night.
Right.
He already knows. Maybe I'll go and repeat a verse. He repeat a verse. I'll do another solo. I'll just keep doing solos for a while.
Right.
We can also break it down and stop. Hold it on the 1 chord and talk to the crowd from. He knows. We both know. Hold it on the 1. The drummer don't need to know that.
He just keeps the
When I sing it,
That's
the
right.
progression stuff, the chord starts
Right.
again. So we got all them signals worked out. But that's from me watching the guys up in the city, blues bands mostly, BBs and Roy Oyster Bar. They got a lot of, if you like the psychedelics, the Roy Oyster Bar's got a lot of cool stuff like
Oh, yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah, we used to call it the dollar dance. Once they're out on the floor, it's just like the wedding dollar dance. You got to keep them out there on the floor, so you just extend that dollar dance song
Right.
and keep them dancing.
10-minute
So,
version of
yeah.
Pride and Joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
We played for 6 hours straight, no break.
Yeah, we've done that.
But then, see, for some reason, the songs we want to extend are not those songs, like Whipping Post.
Right.
The middle of No Quarter, where you create whatever and then you break it back down. Like, sometimes we want to extend those parts, and those aren't the dance songs.
Right.
Those are the psychedelic kind of
Right.
tripped out
Yeah, those are the
songs.
songs you want to sit and just
Oh, on the Watchtower, stuff like that,
They work perfect though when that dance floor clears out and they want to take a break.
It does.
And drop that in there.
My
and
problem is
give
I got too much of the psychedelic stuff. I need more of the dance. 'Cause I'm not a dancer.
What were those words you just said? I don't understand.
Huh?
too much of the psychedelic.
What's that
right?
mean?
I don't know.
I don't understand what those words mean
measure that
together.
anywhere.
You have to ask the girls that.
I'm gonna have to look this up. It's
The girls the biker dudes really like the Robin Trower and
That's
stuff.
what I was gonna say.
The girls a lot of times like things they're more familiar with, and not everybody knows the Hendrix and the Robin Trower.
Believe it or
Sometimes,
not, we had somebody come up and ask us if we knew any Cher one night.
Right?
Gypsies, tramps, and thieves all
Yeah,
night
somebody asked me
long.
if I could do
Man.
any Michael Jackson after a whole night of us doing bluesy rock stuff. They wouldn't.
I would have done Half Read.
Wait, hey man, like
What?
I'm still.
Half Read by Cher.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorites. Pretty heavy.
I'm still
actually.
trying to figure out. People say Michael Jackson's black, but every picture I saw, he looked like an Asian woman. So I'm just not sure what I believe anymore.
So you guys not only stick to the psychedelics, you list heavy blues, you list classic southern rock and blues metal, and I see.
Yeah, you kind of heard some of that. So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm doing is I'm just taking the songs and heavying them up.
Right.
You know, there's ways you can play chords and make them sound heavier. I'm just doing stuff like that. I've always, man, I listened to another like death metal and extremely heavy stuff from the time I was like 12 until when I was 22. I discovered a guy named Mike Zito, who's from South St. Louis. And he was working at the Guitar Center in Crestwood with Devin Allman, Allman Brothers kid. He kind of like put me on this thing where I want to hear more blues after hearing Mike Zito, you know, so kind of stemmed from that. I didn't really, it broke me out of the metal.
Black Sabbath was a blues band when they started.
People were coming over to my house, getting ready to go out on a Saturday, and I'm listening to like Howlin' Wolf, and I bought like John Lee Hooker, and in Arnold there was a CD store where they had a cheap section. And they had a blues section, like $5.99. But it was old stuff, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, all that.
Hold on, was that like right close to the basement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think
Yeah,
I've been to that record store years ago. I remember.
It was really
Yeah,
small.
yeah, but it was
thing.
like right around the corner from the basement, right down the road. Yeah.
But my friends would come over and they'd be like, dude, like, what's wrong with you? Like, what are you listening to this for? Like, I'm like, man, I don't know. I just really like this for some reason. This blues stuff. I love this blues stuff.
Let's see. I'm listening to Howlin' Wolf. This is the guy that Sam Phillips sold Elvis so he could keep recording. That's who I'm listening. I mean, come on, man. You know, it's Howlin' Wolf. Of course, that's who I'm listening to.
But we were all used to. Everybody was used to. I was a metal dude. That's all I listened to. Was the heaviest metal I could possibly get my hands on.
And I sort of went through the same thing where after playing in a band that we did, you know, Pantera and Slayer, and that was our wheelhouse. And all of a sudden, I went to a Grateful Dead show, and I came back going, I think I want to do things differently.
That's what happened to me. I went to a jam session. I didn't play. I didn't know how to play guitar back in the early 20s. I went to a jam session with an old friend of mine that played, and he told me about blues music and this jam session. Kept trying to get me to come. There's this guy named Benny Smith back then that ran this little Sunday thing at Hammerstones. And I went, and man, when them guys blew the horns and the harmonica and all that, like, and it was crazy. It's like, I liked it, but I felt guilty because I was such a metalhead.
Right.
Anything positive and happy, like major, like B.B. King has a major lick sound, you know, it was just, I liked it, but I felt bad about liking it. It was weird.
See, I to me, it was like I was still in this band playing this heavy music when I went to see the Grateful Dead, but the thing that kept ringing in my mind was I liked the positive vibes.
That's what happened.
I was so
I started to like that.
I would come
metal and all that's just kind of aggressive and all, but I wanted that at the time.
Yeah,
but man,
because you got angst as a young guy.
Some of the shit you experience with the whole getting sober thing and just life itself, you start to wonder why people are celebrating death when you've experienced some things that, like, it's like, I don't want to celebrate that. And I started hearing like Grateful Dead and blues music. It had several. They had happy songs. They had slow songs. You know, there were several different moods in that kind of music rather than just one.
I like the way you take like heavy songs and put them with like Trower. So you make Trower Litalica.
We do a Joe Bonamassa song called The Ballad of John Henry. And at the end of it, we end it with Rush, Working Man.
Yeah.
And the drummer does his drum solo at the end of that one. And
we do like
John Henry and Working Man goes together perfect.
And I was playing the riff for John Henry, and you'll hear Working Man.
Yeah.
It's the same notes in the key of E on the guitar. Yep. And that's what made me think of it. I was like, hey, man, we turn song blend. I'll go into that at the end. You know?
We like to turn Sabbath songs into like a 20-minute jam. Fairies Wear Boots, a perfect jam song. You can jam Fairies Wear Boots for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And never, you just go back to smoking and tripping one more time.
Right.
You know?
No one cares. Say smoking and tripping is all that I do. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, man, this guy's been reading my mail.
Going in for the last verse, everybody knows what's up, the jam part's done, and then you end the song.
Say what tune we used
Have
to
you heard
do?
Children of the Grave?
Children of the Grave.
Have you heard
Yeah.
Blackstone Cherry
killed that
before?
one, too.
I haven't.
There's a
No.
band called Blackstone Cherry. And so basically what they did is they took a whole bunch of blues covers and made them heavy.
Right.
And I mean, they're a popular band. I mean,
Right.
you'll hear them on K-Sheet.
That's what
Sirius
my
XM.
version of Can't You See?
Right.
That is
That's what
basically.
Hendrix did.
I was gonna say that is basically what rock and roll is taking the blues and making it a little more rocking and a little less bluesy. But I mean, okay, Bad Company covering "Feel Like Making Love."
Yeah.
That's an old blues tune. Feel like
We brought up Howlin' Wolf. I was
Yeah,
thinking
you know.
of Killin' Floor when Hendrix plays that.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, all
And,
right.
and
so
Clapton's like, I always love that song, but I can't play it like Hendrix does. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so you're taking an old song and bringing a new thing to it,
He
which
did
is
Born Under a Bad Sign too, an instrumental.
Right.
You know, and it's like, it's
Yeah.
it's not like Albert King's version. It's different. And then Blackstone Cherry, boom, 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 boom. You know, it's
Yeah.
heavy. And I'm thinking to myself, I want to do my own version where I put power chords over that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
But-
not only can he take Killing Floor and stuff like that, then he'll go take the Monkees Stepping Stone
Yeah.
and do the same thing to the Monkees that he's done to everybody.
Anything.
Yeah.
I got a Depeche Mode song that Enjoy the Silence, but I'm trying to do like a real dark,
Oh,
heavy
yeah.
version, and that's not blues at all.
Yeah.
So we got a whole bunch of crap. Me and him started working on an acoustic thing because I had quit a jam session I ran twice a week in High Ridge. And we're like, oh my God, I need that weekly income. I got to replace it. So we started beating this acoustic idea of all these different songs. And then all of a sudden, I created a new jam session that me and him did.
Right.
So the acoustic thing stayed there. We never launched it. But what happened was it's opened up all kinds of ideas. I'm practicing singing and playing the songs. He does the bass. We get together. And then like we can just take it to a drummer and be like, all right, this is what we got.
Yeah.
Put some drums to this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We did White Room. I was singing White Room, and it sounded great. But then we decided to play it in a different set because he changes guitars, and sometimes I do as well. So
Yeah. I play a Strat first set and a Les Paul the last two sets.
and I play a 8-string the first set, and then I'll play a 4-string for the rest of the night. So what we did is with the Les Paul and what he was playing, creating himself, and with the 8-string, it just made White Room.
So you know the chords
fat
in the beginning of
full,
White Room.
You know,
Dun, 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 dun,
You know, with
dun,
the drum
dun.
part and all that.
I just put some heavy gain on and put heavier power chords over that.
so
Yeah.
fat.
And his 8-string, and it has that.
Yeah.
It has the fatter sound. you
we
know?
used to love doing that. We did that with White Rabbit. You know,
Yeah.
made a heavy version of it.
Right.
And people loved it. People remember us for that song.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
watch
yeah,
out. I'm
it
gonna
totally
steal it.
works. Hey,
stealing
speaking of,
ideas.
I'm going to do some plugs here. Grand Pagano's up at George's Local Brew tonight until 9 o'clock. And then the Screaming Eagles are playing Loxt tomorrow night from 7 to 10. Either that or BC Homegrown. I don't know which name they're going
It's
by.
the same. You know what? Next week, tune in and you'll find out all about it.
Okay, Mila Duffy playing on Saturday, and Morrison's Porch Cafe playing out at Roper's on Saturday, and Lanny and Julie playing at the Foundry Public House on Saturday as well. And then New Year's Eve coming up, Toxic Johnny going to play the Alton Warehouse. You ever play the Warehouse? You go in the Warehouse at about 2 in the mornings when you start. And then you go till sunup because it's a private club.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
'Cause that's how late I'm up anyways.
that's where we played a 6-hour set.
Yeah.
We play like a Thanksgiving Eve, so everyone was still going at 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's when we'd start and play until sunup, and play one set of just long jams and that kind of stuff.
Because if you stop, people are going to walk outside to
Right,
smoke.
right.
And they might not come back.
Yeah.
You know, but if you keep playing, you got a crowded house, man.
we
and
play
that
like an hour and 20 on our first set, hour and 15.
right,
Time.
and you play the crowd like you say.
Right.
They're there, they're going, we're going.
Right.
You know,
Gotta
why
keep
stop?
it going.
You know, Soul Sign Groove also playing New Year's Eve at the Edwardsville Move 5-Point Plan at Wiggler's on New Year's Eve. At the Sportsman's Bar in Chesterfield, Illinois, be the Screaming Eagles Jam Band, and then Blues and Grass playing Hooch and 16s on New Year's Eve. So just some stuff I wanted to plug while we had a chance.
So Hoochie 16s has bands again, huh?
Yeah.
We played there before.
And you can find all this information at cottonmouth.org. And I mentioned that, this was recorded a month ago. So I guarantee there's all kinds of more gigs have been that we can't announce because we're doing this a month in advance.
The gigs that you just listed for New Year's weekend were what you could find as of November 16th.
Right.
So
that's what we're trying to do with the website is just to give you a worksheet. If you're looking to book clubs and do that kind of thing, there's a whole list of places to play on there. If you're looking for bands, there's a list of bands. There's interviews with bands, so you can check them out before you even talk to them. And it's all right there on our website for free. That's the main thing, right?
I like that word, free.
Yeah, me too.
I like the word fry, too.
I do.
I like the
Free.
free.
It means free.
Free.
Free
It
means
used to
fry?
be spelled F-R-Y-E. F-R-E-Y.
I like to fry for free.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah.
Free fries.
free fries. Free fries. With every purchase.
So I think the Fry Project is the first band ever to bring us M&Ms with their logo on it. Well, with a logo on it, Fry
It
Project.
says Fry Project on one side and
E.
300 milligrams. They're microdoses.
Does that
On the
say
other
E or M? I'm hoping it's E.
He doesn't care. He's just gonna use them.
M.A.
E
I'm sure
might-
what that smells.
E might be an X.
Oh,
I'm just saying, so I'm going with an E instead of an M.
There you go.
But yeah, Fry
We're all
Project,
supposed to eat those
M&Ms.
together before the interview.
dude, I'm feeling it already, man.
Well, I'm looking for what we're doing
acting.
after the interview. That's going to be even better. Is it time to quit? Because now I'm getting excited.
All I can think is fast acting to acting. I don't know what I'm thinking.
So you were giving Roy a hard time about his name really being Fry. I have a hard time with Mark's last name being Drummer, and he's the drummer. That's got to be made up. That's got to be made up.
Yeah, his last name's Cummings.
Okay.
This is Mark Drummer. He's the guitar player. This is this is Joe Fiddle. He plays the bass.
Right.
This is confusing. This is my
got-
friend Dallas. He's from Houston.
We got Bob Bass, man.
Bob the bass man. Bob Bowman the bass man.
And the other drummer is Tim Heidemann. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned Tim. I wanted to give him a shout out. We like to talk about the members who aren't here when they're,
We got Mike Chedester that plays with us sometimes too, when the other two guys have stuff going on.
Right.
Fortunate to have all three of them. They're all great musicians.
And you mentioned something before we started. You guys used to do the open jams, and you'd get to know different musicians, and then you'd see them down the line at a gig you were playing, and you'd invite them up on stage. So if you're going to see the Fry Project, there may be someone from the audience that they know jump up there and get involved as well. So once again, you never know what you're going to see.
Well, and there's something else that strikes my mind as you said those.
They're not going to let you up
words.
there, Pigpen.
I wasn't thinking of myself. Look, I stay in my lane. I know what I am. I got 3 chords, and I don't even know the names. It was like Bear
Hey,
Claw.
you can take requests?
and,
Yeah, if we know it.
I got my own names for my chords. I don't know. Anyway, no, what you said that I thought we should point out in case people weren't listening. You just said
Shame on them.
when they do these jam sessions, people get up and jam with them that they have met in the past. Which means if you go to one of these jam sessions and you're thinking, man, I wouldn't mind coming back and getting up and jamming with those guys, you might want to say hi. You might want to go over and go, hey, I know your name's not really Roy Fry, but whatever it is, man.
Right.
Yeah.
How do we decode that?
What was cool is that out of our jam session became 3 or 4 different bands
Oh yeah, people made bands out of,
and
out
stuff.
of from
And
each
it
other.
was
Yeah.
cool to be able to help them get on their feet and do
Right.
what they had to do and to see them prosper.
Which we talk about all the time. If you want to get started, go to an open mic. Good place to start. Now, you guys are looking for a new place to host a jam session, right?
Yeah, we had Cosmic Lounge for 2 years, and then we had to move to Johnny's Hideout down the road in High Ridge. Very cool venue, Johnny's Hideout. The
Yes.
owners are super cool to me.
Great.
Plus, it's called a hideout. Right there, you've got me. 'cause I
Awesome
feel like it's all
food,
outlaws in
pretty
there.
girls, good music. They have a bike night every Wednesday that's
Yeah.
ridiculous, man. It's off
Sunset's
the charts.
amazing. There.
Yeah. But we did it there for about 6-7 weeks, and then it got too cold because they have an outside stage, and it's a little more of a restaurant inside, so they didn't really want to move it in. So it's going to happen again in April, but man, I teach guitar, and we made a lot of friends doing it, and everybody's like, come on, we can't wait till April. You got to put something else together.
Okay.
So I've talked to a bunch of different venues. A lot of them don't understand that they're going to have to pay for somebody to come and do that. And so we have some venues that might be interested. We haven't actually moved it yet. It's been, 3 weeks now? Almost a month now.
Yeah.
We haven't had a jam session on a Tuesday, and it feels super empty during
Yeah.
the week.
Weird.
I'm used to every Tuesday having that jam session, so we have to relocate it close to where it was to be able to bring some of them people that, were already coming out, and make it a success right away.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, we're still looking.
Yep.
So there you go. Maybe you're a venue looking for a band to do an open jam, which has been very successful
got a
around
built-in
this
crowd
area.
already, yeah.
We
Been
talk
for almost
about
3 years.
the Stagger Inn. That thing's been going on for 50 years. The open jam on Wednesday and Saturdays, and then we got the Martin's Tunes that moved down now to Mac's Time Out, and hey, Mac's letting them in doing the open jam. So other venues around town.
And the Conservatory's been going with the Wednesday nights with
Right.
Billy Nelson now
Right,
for
and
a year
Ragin
or so.
Cajun every Thursday night, open mics. So there's some places around here that does that, and so if you're looking for another band to do that, Pride Project might be interested. It might be a little bit further away than they want to go, but hey, people in
They'll
this
go where they're told to go.
You know what we're doing.
people in this area
We're
like.
friends anywhere we go.
That's what I was getting ready to say. People in this area like the open jams, as I just pointed out.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. So pick a town and get down.
They
That's
like
what I'm
us,
saying.
and then they like our music better. That's what's great.
Yeah, you're,
And-
you're good looking, Bob.
Wait,
That's
he's
what
a
it is.
handsome man, a handsome man. We are talking to Bob Bowman and to Roy Fry of the Fry Project, and thank you guys for driving all the way from
Thanks for having us,
Jeffco
man.
and
Very
and
cool.
beyond.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for doing what you do. Like I say, we've been saying your name for a while. It was time to get you in and say hello. So
Thanks, man.
everybody, again, how do they find you?
Fry Project on Facebook. FRY Project.
Fry Project on Facebook, and that's the best way to
Yes, Facebook.
to check it out. Okay, so you had said some gigs.
Yeah.
So any of those gigs that you heard, Dennis mentioned all kinds of places. Facebook, that's where you'll find out. Fry Project. Thanks again, Roy Fry, Bob Bowman, and good luck to you, gentlemen.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Also, thanks to our sponsors, Halpin Music Company and Matt Van Voors, we'll say, of Mr. Donuts.
Okay. Stubblefield.
Our Stubblefield band. There you go.
That's right, Macias Insurance.
But whatever. Matt Van Voors for sponsoring the show. Thanks to both of them for sponsoring the show for so long. Everybody, remember, whatever it is you're going to do, you must get out and support local music and art.